You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Hello, welcome to your loose women. Are you okay there?
Did you see me? I nearly went down the
see
stairs.
you. I'm not sure if you got away with it, but I'm just going to draw attention to the fact that she nearly fell. We're going to keep you company for the next hour. So put your phone down, sit back and relax with us. Alongside me, Christine Lampard today, it's Katie Piper, Linda Robson and Nadia Sawala. Coming up, our parent panel takes on a divisive debate on daddy day care. Should the parent who earns the most do the least amount of parenting? Strong views about that one. And at 1:15, we are getting starstruck.
When I get on stage, I don't sound like Freddie, but tonight, I heard Freddie up there. I really did. It was really exciting.
Pop sensation Adam Lambert tells us why he's had his head turned by the Tinas, been shocked by the Chers and flummoxed by the Freddies in his new role as a judge on Starstruck. Adam will be joining us right behind the desk. It's so good to have you, Adam. We're going to see you very soon. Also today, Hollyoaks actress Jorgie Porter will be opening up about the heartbreak of suffering a miscarriage after a surprise discovery that she was expecting quadruplets. She'll be here with her fiancé Ollie in the hope that sharing their story will help others experiencing multiple pregnancy loss. First, though, we're talking, of course, about the situation in Ukraine. Every day brings more devastating news, and it's easy to feel a real sense of hopelessness and indeed helplessness. But it is important, if you can, to focus on the stories that provide glimmers of hope and humanity in the darkness. And we were saying this first thing this morning because the darkness seems to just engulf all of us at the moment. I find it actually really difficult just to watch the news generally. But there are tiny little glimmers of hope, and you were the first to sort of bring it up this morning.
And I think that's so important when we're talking to our families and our children and for ourselves.
Yeah,
to look
just how we approach the future.
So much incredible humanity and incredible acts of kindness that are going on. And actually, there is a wee glimmer of hope that I'm really hanging to on the moment, in that China are willing to have indicated that they're willing to help maybe in talking about a ceasefire or some sort, getting involved in the talks, which would be incredible. So that's a real glimmer of hope, because obviously we know that Putin really respects China, and so let's hope that we hear more about that today. Yeah, but there are so many good stories, and one that I particularly love is a group of Lithuanian women who have been protesting or appealing outside the Russian embassy in the capital of Lithuania, and appealing to the mothers of the world. It makes me emotional just thinking, the women of the world whose sons and fathers are, many of whom in that army in Russia will be sent, young men, older men that don't want to fight, that don't want to murder other people. And when you think about what that must feel like to send your son off, to have no say in that. And so what they're trying to do is galvanise the power of women across the world. And for Russian women say, you can't have our sons, send our sons back, because this isn't Russia's war, it's Putin's war. It's not the people of Russia. And I find that very, very powerful. And imagine if all the mothers rose up. I like to imagine that if that could actually happen, maybe that would have some sort of effect. I don't know.
A lot of these young men as well, heading off, not fully understanding even what they're potentially losing their lives for. I mean, they're just young boys, an awful lot of these.
A lot of them are, aren't they? Just really young, first year of conscript, and they've arrived there not really knowing.
But a lot of the women think they're on training missions. They're being sent on a training mission and then finding out they're on the front line. And I saw a clip of a film with there was a tank and a woman and her children behind her, and like the tank was coming towards her, and it was just you just think, if that was me, I would let the tank. I'd die for my kids. I'd let them just run me over or whatever, just to try and save my kids, and that. Because there's nothing like a mother's love for her children, is it? And I think all of us would be prepared to die for our kids, wouldn't we? I certainly would.
So imagine if the Russian mothers all rose up and said, no, send it back, and just went crazy at him.
There is something
These are my
reassuring,
dreams.
though. You're right, seeing the world unite. You know, we've been so fractured in the pandemic. I saw a picture yesterday on social media of the Ukrainian flag on the Statue of Liberty. I know they've done it on the Eiffel Tower. And, you know, it is awful to see what's happening. And these are very small glimmers of hope. But, you know, together we are all stronger. And I think that's what we can hold on to.
It's just letting them know that we're all supporting them and we're all there for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good image to have, like, when the world's been so fractured for so long, that the world is coming together, hopefully, to... I mean, I think we feel that. To,
show
I think when you're in a
solidarity.
war-torn country, you can sometimes feel forgotten. So it's so important that those images are out there for people to remember that...
It's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
And thank God for social media being able to get this out to people.
So important.
Yeah.
On to something a little different now, and supermarket chain Sainsbury's has announced the closure of 200 of their in-store cafes, many of which will be converted into trendy coffee chains and burger restaurants and takeaway food hubs. So what do you think? I was going like a food hub. What's a food hub? I don't know what that is really.
Sounds awful.
What do we think? I mean, the supermarket cafe. I mean, I can see you. Look at the excitement already. I mean, Katie, just show us the love that you have for a supermarket cafe.
I'm a former employee of a well-known supermarket brand, and I'm coming at this from regional life because I think it's very different if you live in London or in a big city. You know, I come from a small town in Hampshire, and oh my goodness, when our only large supermarket went 24-hour, that was so exciting. Like, we used to go to the supermarket to meet boys. We used to go to the supermarket.
It was a one-stop shop.
Yeah, it was. And we used to go to the cafe to have milkshakes, coffees. Then when I went to college, I worked in the supermarket. It was one of the biggest places in our town to congregate, and it was community, it was affordable, but it was a treat and it was exciting.
So was it ever like a Friday night out or a Saturday night out?
Oh, yeah. Friday and Saturday in a row, yeah. You know. and it shows, like, that's
Tesco's this week.
I mean, obviously, things have moved on. We've got other shops in the town now, but it's still like... I still go back there when I go visit my mum and dad. It is a central point, and I think things like the cafe were really, like, part of that, and it was a treat to go there as a child. We couldn't just have a fry up there every time we went shopping. It was a treat, you know, so...
I get it when you mentioned the regional thing. That I was exactly the same as you. But I still, with the little cafes in any of those supermarkets, you know, sometimes you would see, like, an early bird pensioner special for breakfast. And you'd see a lot of older people there, and there was a sense of community. It was something to do. It was somewhere to go. The idea that you could get your breakfast for whatever the price was. Yeah. And you just think, what a lovely thing to be able to do.
Yeah.
And for that to be taken away.
People are more lonely than ever, and it's a place to bring them together, and it's affordable, you know, and it's not judgmental if you are there alone. It's really accessible.
I'm going to start a campaign to save them, because we have, in our M&S in Islington, there was this lovely little cafeteria selling all the products what they make in M&S and whatever, and it had sofas in there, and it used to be really comfortable, and you'd go in there, do your bit of shopping, then you sit down, have a little chat with everybody, and then all of a sudden I went there one day and the sofas were gone. They'd taken the sofas out because obviously people spending too long sitting on the sofas, they were too comfortable, so they got chairs in. And the other thing I hate about supermarkets is that all the employees most of the time have to stand all day. Why can't they have a stall? A lot of them are elderly women or men or whatever, and they're on their feet all day long. Why can they not have a stall so they can perch on it?
A nice loose women's stall.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I
we
think
should send our old loose women's stalls down to the supermarket.
I think closing these cafes is indicative of everything that's wrong with the world. It's
She
just
said
about,
it. There you go.
It's just about money. It's about, I mean, most of these supermarkets have vast locations, you know, and make huge profits. And like you say,
Who
this
wants
is
a Starbucks
for a
or
lot
Pret
of
a Manger?
people.
They don't want those.
It's sort of a lot of people. This is a community, and going like sitting for ages with a cup of coffee that might cost you £1 instead of £6.50 or what some coffee shops charge. And I think more and more the elderly are being squeezed out of society. Everything is digital. I mean, my mum and dad are at that stage. They're great for their age, but they are at that stage where everything's just a bit big to bite into. Do you know what I mean? They need a nice thin supermarket burger. They don't want some great big trendy
We can have
burger.
you in there cooking them. Huh? We can have you in there cooking them.
I know, I'll cook for you if that's what it takes. But I just think you know, and like those stale buns you get with the coconut on and all of that. What do we really have to lose that? Do we really need any more giant cupcakes and massive blueberry muffins? It is just another moment of squeezing a certain generation out of society.
Do you talk about a certain generation? Also, mums or parents. And I'll say mums just because I know myself. I've used those cafes in various stores so many times because they tend to be a bit spacious. So you can bring a pram in. They tend to be somewhere you can change the baby in. And they were brilliant for me. And again, it was always something to do. You know, if you just mosey around the shop, I didn't even have to buy anything sometimes, but it's somewhere to go.
I used to like buying a magazine when the babies were small, and then going and sitting and having coffee and reading the magazine.
All the gossip.
Supermarket.
Well, I've been in touch with Sainsbury's. And they've got a right.
Go on, Linda.
Right. Better be good.
It's not that good, actually. We know that many of our cafes have not been performing, particularly since the pandemic. That's it.
I tell you what, you're getting a D for a very disappointing answer, because that's just proved what I said. It's just about money.
So I thought there was going to be more to this.
That's it. We apologise.
To make something up for them.
Well, there we know. Well, we need more, is what we're going to say. Linda is on it, aren't you?
I am.
Still to come today. Should the parent who works and earns the most do less parenting? And should teenagers ask their parents' permission before they get a piercing? Find out which one of us wouldn't let the kids back in the house if they had anything done to their bodies. We're back with all of that in a few minutes. Hello again. Coming up, a debate that could cause friction in the family. Should the parent who earns the most do the least amount of parenting? We're pressing play on that debate in just a minute. First, though, competition time and your chance to be £250,000 better off. But what's it like to win big with ITV? Well, our Jeff is live this week. Is travelling the country, meeting some members of our exclusive ITV Winners Club. Hello, Jeff.
Hello, how are we doing? You're right, Monday was in Swansea, yesterday Kent. Now we're in my home county of Essex, Averley to be exact, and we've found a previous winner, Penny, and we've been joined by some of your friends in your local pub as well. But, you know, to win the competition must be absolutely incredible. What happened for you?
Do you know what? It was absolutely amazing. You enter all the competitions, you hope you're going to win, and you think, yeah, OK. And when you actually get the phone call to say that you've won, it's really emotional.
All right, so what did you win, Pen?
£75,000 and an Audi Q5.
And I know you've kept the car. It was a year or two ago, which is incredible. You know, the winners over the last 12 months now, is over 300 of them have shared £7 million and above. So if you'd like to be in the exclusive winners club that Penny is an honorary member of, then all you've got to do is pick up the phone and enter. Here are the details for you to win £250,000. Good luck to all of you.
For another chance to win £250,000, text cash to 82248. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 782248. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to CD05 PO Box 7558 Derby DE10NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 4th of March at 4 p.m. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Now, I'm interested to hear what you think about this one. One mum has been posting online after her husband asked her for a day off from family life. His reason? Well, he earns more than she does, so should be entitled to more time off from parenting their toddler. Boo. So is it a 50-50 thing, parenting? I mean, should the breadwinner be allowed a bit more me time? Are they more deserving of that? Does he have any grounds for this?
Do you know what? I think it's so unfair to attribute it to money because, you know, in this day and age, you often get two parents that are absolute grafters, both working really hard just to keep their head above the water. You get sometimes where the parents decided to stay at home. They may not be earning any physical money, but they're running the house. They're running all the domestic stuff. That could be a 16-hour day, and then they're doing everything in the evening as well. So I think it's about respecting one another and saying, you look tired, go and sit down, you go for a walk, you want to go to the gym, and just like observing each other and seeing when you're burning out and you're exhausted. You know, I think it's really unfair to prioritise money.
Yeah, yeah. No,
You're very boundaried, though. You are good.
Well, I think
you're thinking on it very sorted.
I like to be careful with my language. I don't like to congratulate my husband for looking after his own children. I hate the term daddy daycare. You know, I'm a good mum, he's a good dad.
Yeah.
We decided to have children together and, you know, it is kind of 50-50 and sometimes my work takes precedent and sometimes his does. And it's never like on this even schedule. It's just case-by-case basis. And, you know, I feel most comfortable and confident having earning potential and earning power, and that's my safe place. And I know he's got his things that he needs to tick too. So I try and like be respectful of that, you know.
So do you ever give him a round of applause if he does the washing up?
Never.
And an extra sweetie.
But you know, I load the dishwasher. I wash the clothes. We do everything together, you know. And it doesn't always work out. We're not the perfect couple, but we try to.
But you appreciate it, and it's not a case of you do that. It just works as the team.
He says like, "Oh, you've got bags under your eyes." I'm like, "Thank you." Yeah, and then he knows it's my time.
All right, yeah.
But when my kids were growing up, I was the higher earner in our relationship because obviously I'd been working from a young age. But then Mark was spending more time with the kids. But he did tend to say things like, "Oh, I've tidied up for you," or "I've emptied the dishwasher for you," and I go, I don't say that when I do those things. Why do you have to say you've done it for me? It's like you've done me a favour. But he was really good with the kids and he'd take them out. Most of the time he'd forget to give them lunch or forget to give them a bath.
So you just said he was really, really good.
He was really good with the kids.
But he was the parent.
He was, yeah.
Did he ever say you were really good?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, that's fair enough. That's where it works.
It needs to be mutual appreciation.
Yeah, exactly.
But as you say, it's the language, I guess, isn't it? Because we all tend to maybe slip into old stereotypes, I suppose.
And a low bar, you know.
The low bar.
Just for washing your child, like, you're amazing.
But as well, for this person to say that they're going to work and they're the breadwinner, I mean, going to work can be easier sometimes. There'll be a lot of parents sitting at home watching right now going, oh, my goodness, there's a screaming baby, one child's ill, someone's been sick, and there's things to do. Like, it's a full-time, hard
graft. You know, they've not been well, your two, have they?
So last week was exactly the two of them were just not right at all. He's up there. I had a baby stuck to me here, my other little one not great, and you can't fix it quickly, and you're in it, and all the other bits have to be done, and you think, oh, goodness.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Deep breaths.
I remember once when I was really struggling when the kids were younger and I was moaning to my dad and saying, I'm so tired, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and he goes, you should, when you were small, every Sunday I would rest and I would read the papers and I would just rest myself. You need to do that. Oh, I bet Mum loved you for that.
I know.
Because when I was a kid, my mum still had a mangle. We didn't have a washing machine. She used to mangle the washing. She didn't have a car. I remember she wouldn't go to the supermarket for veg and stuff because it was too expensive. So we'd all trail up and down the market what she would get. I mean, my mum worked so hard. And my dad had a job that he really, really loved. You know, he was working in movies. He was an actor having a great time. And my mum says marriage is about compromise, and that's why I had children. So it wasn't even her life's work. She didn't even particularly want to have any children, you know. And she's grafting away like this. And then I discover he used to take every Sunday off. Mum, I'm going to send you some extra flowers.
Absolutely right, exactly. I'm feeling for everybody at home right now, dealing with dirty nappies. Another question for you now. Currently, the law states in England you can get a piercing at any age without parental consent. However, many salons will impose their own age restrictions, whilst in Scotland, parents have to give permission to any child under 16. So should teenagers have to ask permission from their parents before they get various piercings done? I mean, Linda,
well, I'm really lucky because I've got 3 kids and none of them have had any piercings.
Yeah, but any body-altering type issues, how do you feel?
I feel lucky that they've not had tattoos. I think all these things, like your daughter's just had a piercing, hasn't she, Maddie? And she looks lovely with it, but she's a young girl, and you just think when you get to a bit older, like my age, 63 or 64, and you've got piercings in your nose and piercings in your cheeks, tattoos everywhere, it doesn't work then, does it? I'd be really, really upset if one of my kids got any of those. And the worst thing is cosmetic surgery. If they had that done, then I think I'd close the door and say, you're not coming in, because both my girls have spoke about having their lips done. And I think, like, when I see a lot of the actresses on television now, presenters or whatever, with their lips done, I go, why have you done that? You had a beautiful face. Why have you done that to yourself?
So you'd really be angry.
I'd be really angry, honestly. I've warned the girls. I said, you're not coming round. You're not coming round my house no
stick
more.
to that? I don't think
I don't think I will, but...
The parent is there.
Let me see my grandchildren if I say that.
You're putting the boundaries out,
yeah,
though.
putting the boundaries out. I'd be really, really upset if they did. I mean, I don't mind normal ear piercing, but the rest of your body, like nipples and all... Louis went with his friend to have a nipple pierced, and he said, I've never heard a scream like it. Honestly, it must have been so painful.
Yeah.
Look at me holding it now.
It's certainly not for everybody.
No.
What about you, Nadia? How would you feel with it?
Maddie's had her belly done. She's just had her eyebrow done. She's got her nose done. God, she's actually got quite a lot. She just had her eyebrow done, and I think she looks gorgeous. Look, I actually love... And she's very edgy anyway, Maddie. You know, she wears lots of rings. Since she was tiny, she's spoken about tattoos and piercing, so it's definitely her thing. But Mark is so upset. And he can't even pretend. And we've got this family WhatsApp group, and it's so funny, because he was like, oh, well, you know, he started sending baby photos of her. And my other child was like, oh, my God, Dad, it's like she's died. And he said, well, it feels a bit like that. And then he sent a photo of her with her two eyes looking straight out. And he said, I really miss that piece of skin, that piece of flesh that they've taken.
Oh, no, he really has taken it.
He's really upset. And he's like finding it so... And you
it's just a sense of them growing up, though. Is that it, maybe?
I think it is that, but I think it's also... It's just that perfect thing of your child, and he thinks somehow something's been done to his child. You know?
I totally get that, and that's how I feel about my daughter. Like, I remember when my first was born and touching her face and her body, and it's so soft and perfect. And, you know, for me, with my face being burnt, it feels quite tough and solid in places, and I'd forgotten what that face feels like and how noses are squidgy. And I was obsessed with photographing her. Like, she's so perfect, she's so untouched. And I think if she did anything to modify it, it would feel so personal, and I would feel so upset. But that's wrong, because we don't own our children. And it's so funny, my mum is such a fan of loose women, and she'll be watching this at home shaking her head, because I was the teenager that used to pierce my ears with a nappy pin and ice cubes, and I got really infected on my left ear. I had to go to doctors to get antibiotics, and it left me with a big split in my earlobe, and the sun would like shine through the split. And, you know, we have dark sense of humour in my house, and when I got burnt, my ear actually was melted, and I kind of lost all the earlobe and the flesh, and we had a bit of a laugh. We're like, at least the split's gone.
Yeah, that's pretty dark.
Yeah. You know, it's just
I love that.
We all have our thing.
Yeah, I love that.
Coming up after 1 o'clock, two great guests. Adam Lambert tells us about the surprising discoveries he made during Freddie Mercury week on Starstruck. And in just a few minutes, actress Jorgie Porter will be opening up about the devastation of miscarrying quadruplets and how it has brought her and her partner, Ollie, closer than ever. We're going to be talking to Jorgie straight up after this. Welcome back to your Wednesday Loose Women. Still to come, Queen frontman Adam Lambert will be live in the studio. Oh, he's just a wonderful creature. We can't wait to see Adam. And on your Loose Women panel today, another one bites the dust. It's our Queen of Clean, Linda Robson. Friends will be friends, and she is our newest, Kitty Piper. She's got one vision, as long as she's got her glasses on, that is. It's Nadia Sawalha, and making sure no one wants to break free. Not until 1:30 anyway. It's me, Christine Lampard. We are going to be chatting to Adam a little bit later on, talking all things Starstruck and loads more. Can't wait, Adam. Thank you. Time now, though, for our first guest, Hollyoaks actress Jorgie Porter, who has a very important story to tell us.
Jorgie Porter first shot to fame as Teresa McQueen in Hollyoaks.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that anymore.
Before starring in reality shows like I'm a Celebrity and Dancing on Ice. Last summer, Jorgie was surprised to discover she and boyfriend Ollie Petrovsky were expecting quadruplets, 1,000,000-to-1 pregnancy. But at around 14 weeks of pregnancy, the couple were faced with heartbreak after learning Jorgie had suffered a miscarriage. She now hopes to raise awareness of miscarriage by sharing their story.
And Jorgie and her now fiancé, Ollie, join us now. Thank you so much. Oh, look, we're just so sorry to hear about everything that you've been through, and sadly it's going to resonate with so many people out there. And such a mixture of emotion, because suddenly you discover you're pregnant, and you're not just pregnant with one, but 4 babies. What was that episode like?
Stressful.
Yeah. Well, obviously we were excited that we got pregnant because that's what we wanted. And we went for like an early scan, because we've got twins in our family, haven't we? And so we
on
just...
both sides?
Yeah,
is
on
that
both
right?
sides.
Okay.
So we went for an early scan, and the doctor was sort of a bit unsure what to say and what to tell us, because she said, we can see 3 sacs. So for us, we had no idea what that meant, whether that's a normal thing, whether what is going on. So they said, we're going to rush you into a hospital appointment. And with that one, we were told that there was actually 4 sacs. Also, we were still none wiser because we still didn't know what that meant. And as she said the word quadruplets...
I think I fell over.
Yeah. There was a bit of swearing, a bit like I said, my body is too small. Like, I can't imagine that happening. And I think you literally thought further and was like, well, we wouldn't even be able to drive a car.
For everyone in the
For
car.
everything.
Oh, I love that. So male and
How are we getting out of the hospital with all the cars?
carrier.
Yeah. So obviously we were just shocked, and throughout the pregnancy it was kind of not really enjoyable for me and for you also.
No,
my hormones were just...
You were experiencing really quite intense senses, I guess, as you would expect, I suppose, with 4.
Well, because obviously when you are pregnant, you want to tell some people. You don't really tell many people, do you? It's just something we don't do. And I'm not sure why sometimes, because I don't really like to keep a secret. Like, I like to tell people everything that's going on in my life. So when that was the situation, it was a bit harder because having the hormones times 4, it was just so hard, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was stressful, yeah, definitely.
And presumably then all the physical stuff is really sped up, the bigger boobs, the swelling, the going to the loo, all of that.
You're so right, because as well, at work, obviously, I was in work with costumes. Yeah. And I think within like 3 or 4 weeks, my body started to change pretty drastically. And
you're so petite anyway, it would show, wouldn't
well,
it?
yeah, so like my boobs were like,
woo,
he remembers that. Yeah. And my belly was starting to like protrude. So obviously then before we found out it was quadruplets, I was a bit like, this is insane, like what women go through pregnancy-wise. And then when the doctor said it's quadruplets, that made more sense. And at work, I had to kind of start telling people because one costume fit in a couple of weeks, then it was like, woof. Yeah. And obviously, without trying to say it was an extreme circumstance, it was like,
But of course, Jorgie, you would have been classed as high risk, which meant that you were having lots of routine scans. And sadly, during one of those routine scans, the unthinkable was revealed.
Yeah, so we were going regularly because we were being looked after. And on the final, I think it was the 6th scan?
It's the 5th or the 6th,
5th or the 6th. She then said, you've got a miscarriage, you've missed, they've gone. Which for me was quite shocking because I thought it was going to be 4. I was ready for, girl gang.
And did you not have any signs that you'd miscarried?
No, so that was another thing. It was a miscarriage.
Right.
So my body was still being pregnant and still sort of doing the symptoms of pregnancy. And it then did carry on for a while. And then, which gets really heartbreaking time, is the time of how they're going to go sort of thing. Because the hospital had said this is a 1 in 700,000 not many people get quadruplets. So their options were, how do we get rid of this sort of thing? So we went with the route of surgery so that I could be knocked out, because I didn't really want to see or witness things.
Yeah. Such a personal decision. Yeah.
And also that was another tricky situation because obviously they'd not done that as a regular operation, so they didn't really know what the outcome could have been. So they gave us warnings, didn't they, of this could be, might not go really well, there could be a lot of blood loss. So it was great that I had Ollie with me the whole time.
And were you being
supporting
asked
me.
all these questions on the day that you'd also found out that you'd lost them? It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was the same day. Yeah.
And how was that for you? Because I think often as a society, men can feel a little left out of these, you know.
Yeah, I think I felt really helpless. It was quite sad, and I was scared. Obviously, you were in pain, and it's like I didn't sort of acknowledge. It was kind of just thrown on us that it was a miscarriage.
Yeah.
Every week we were going for scans, and then all of a sudden, the next time it was a miscarriage, and then we had to have the discussion of the operation. It was a really, as a man, it was really helpless. Really helpless and
You
scary.
feel like you want to do something and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Do you think you've supported each other as a couple? Because sometimes, you know, you are both going through it together in different ways, but it can be difficult as a subject together, and you can end up avoiding it. Have you helped each other cope in different ways?
Yeah, I think definitely we do talk a lot. If he notices if I'm being a bit sad or something, or I notice he's being a bit different, we'll say, are you okay? Are you thinking about that? Or we are really good, the fact that we communicate a lot, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we went in phases, so as soon as it happened, I cried and found it really hard, and you were really tough and strong.
Yeah.
And then a few days later, you sort of had a real meltdown.
Yeah.
And then I had to be strong.
Yeah.
So it kind of went in phases.
Because we've always been sort of single people and dealt with our sadnesses alone, coming together was a new way of sort of opening up our sadness together and supporting each other, and also just the trust that we're going to be together no matter what.
Bringing you closer.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, it'll resonate with so many, Jorgie and Ollie, only because 1 of 4 pregnancies end in miscarriage, and unfortunately it's not until you go through it that you realise a lot of these statistics and realise the people that you actually maybe have in your life already that have been affected, because a lot of people don't talk about it, and that's the very reason why you've chosen to do that.
Yeah.
And so we do appreciate it, because it's been a tough old time for you, but you're engaged.
Yeah.
Lots of happy things on the horizon, which is lovely. And like we say, it's great to have you here as well, Ollie.
Really admire you.
Good job you had your haircut, innit?
Yeah.
He didn't know I was coming on.
He scrubs up. You can't come into this studio without being on the telly, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Ollie. Look, if you've been affected by anything that we've just discussed, there's lots of help and support on our ITV website. Coming up next, he's the Queen frontman that is rocking our Saturday nights in Starstruck on ITV. Adam Lambert is here right after this. Hello again, welcome back. Queen singer, Starstruck judge and pop sensation Adam Lambert is standing by, ready to talk to us. First though, it's the final week of our biggest competition of the year so far. Back to Jeff, live in Essex. Hello, Jeff.
Hello there. Yes, listen, £250,000 is the biggest amount that we ever give away. £250,000 could be yours, and you could join the Elite Winners Club that Penny is a member of. £75,000 she won, and an Audi Q5 as well. If you'd like to join that members club, you're going to need to ponder the question, what shall I do with that money? I've been asking some of Penny's friends here at the pub in Averley, Essex. Maggie, what would you do with £250,000?
I'd like to take the family on a holiday to the Maldives, the whole family.
Sounds beautiful. A little bit of sun on your skin would be incredible. Mel, what about yourself?
I would love to open up an animal sanctuary.
And what animals would you have in there?
Any kind of animals.
So you like Dr. Dolittle? Wonderful stuff. And Emma, you work here at the pub we're in today. What would you do with £250,000?
Pay off my mortgage and then go on holiday somewhere hot and exotic.
Incredible. It really is all about feeling that sun on your skin, feeling the pressure just ebb away if you win £250,000. So if you fancy that, lines close at Friday, 3 p.m. All you need to do is follow these details, and good luck, everybody.
For another chance to win £250,000, text cash to 82248. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 782248. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to CD05 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 4th of March at 4 p.m. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Now, he first shot to fame on American Idol back in 2009. He's now known to many as the modern-day frontman of the one and only Queen. But more recently, Adam Lambert has been finding himself starstruck on Saturday nights.
Freddie was a larger-than-life star, and I felt that from all three of you. The energy was awesome. Yeah! When I get on stage, I don't sound like Freddie, but tonight, I heard Freddie up there. I really did. It was really exciting. Okay, that was way too much fun. The thing that we all love about Cher is that she's so camp. In the beginning, I saw you go, oh.
Please welcome Adam Lambert. Adam, welcome. Hello. Hi.
Thank you.
Adam, what a show this is.
Isn't it fun?
Starstruck. But it's the most incredible experience for the contestant, potentially for one night only.
Yeah.
The experience is superstar experience.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. But to judge it, that's a very different one. What is it like to be on that side of the stage?
I mean, it's a superstar experience for us, too. You know, when you close your eyes for a second, some of these people sound exactly like the albums.
Exactly,
you know?
like.
It's so much fun, too. It's not your typical talent competition where someone's, you know, putting their whole future on the line and vying for a record contract. It's fun. And a lot of our contestants are people that do this anyway on the side and have other jobs and other lives. And it's really a party. It's great. It's like a fancy dress karaoke dream.
That's a really good point, actually, because there are all these jobbing singers, these people in day-to-day that don't necessarily want or aren't, their ambitions aren't to be a big star, but they do a great service around the world. So I love that there's not this big deal at the end of it. Now, you are honest. You are very honest.
You know, someone told me, like, you know, you get to go and dress up and have opinions about things. I mean, I do that anyway. So, I mean, I always try to be helpful. You know, I think it's not anybody's dream to get up on stage and be ripped apart. You know what I mean? So if I see something that I think that they could improve upon, especially if they have another round to go, I mention it in a nice way.
It's constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And you've been there. You know, you've worked very hard. You're living people's dreams. But my goodness, you've worked for it. You know, you need that honesty, I think.
And I remember being in their position with American Idol. I remember being on stage and having people, you know, look at you, and you have to be able to kind of laugh it off and you know, take the piss out of yourself. And it's not that bad.
I don't think you was allowed to say that word.
Oh, no, I say that.
It's normally if they knew how hilarious is that she's correcting you.
Steal the weed? I don't know what we call it.
Anyway, take a wee. Yes, we do. But it's slightly different in an American accent, isn't it? But yes, we do apologise if anyone...
Sorry.
Anyway, who's been your favourite so far? What did you think of Freddie Week?
Freddie was amazing. The Freddies were, you know, absolutely uncanny the way they sounded exactly like Freddie. And they looked great, too. I mean...
But it's that moment, Adam, when you close your eyes, that like, can take away all of this and the experience that's around it. When you just close your eyes and listen to some of them, they're just fantastic.
Goosebumps.
And, you know, my big thing with it is you can sound like the icon, you can dress, you can move, but there's the star quality thing that's hard to put your finger on. And some of these people actually had that energy, that thing, that it factor. And those were the ones that stood out to me.
And you're also touring with Queen, and I've been to see you in Queen.
Yeah.
You're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You know what big fan I am of yours. I've stalked you. I've been in your dressing room earlier.
Yeah.
This is getting today. Yeah.
Have you been in?
Of course I have.
We traded accessories, I think, at some point for a minute.
Now, tell us, how did that come about, being in Queen?
Well, when I was on American Idol, they were asked to perform on the finale. And so we met for the first time there, and it did feel like something clicked. And then not very long after that, after I put out my first album and did my own solo tour, my first tour, they came a call and said, we have this opportunity to perform at the EMAs. Would you like to sing with us? Of course, I picked up the phone and said yes. The minute I hung it up, I went, oh God, this is a big challenge. This is a lot. And I'm so glad.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it was like, the people out there are gonna they're gonna be tough on me. I knew it. I was like, oh, but I'm up for a challenge. I like a challenge.
Well, I mean, you were incredible. And now it's such a part of the family, I guess. The Queen must feel like a second family to you now after all these years.
Yeah, I mean, we've been touring now for 10 years. And Brian and Roger are lovely. They feel like family.
Yeah.
They're very wise. They've been through a lot of amazing adventures. They offer great advice. We laugh a lot. It's great, you know? And to be on stage and to watch them light up and to sort of experience like this nostalgia and to bask in their legacy. It's really nice to be like next to them in that moment.
Well, speaking of legacy, you dedicate a lot of time to your own foundation, and it's something that I hugely respect about you.
Thank you.
And it's so great to see you giving back. Why is it so important to you?
I mean, we've come a long way in the past decade, like since I've been on the public scene, especially in America, because I think you guys are a little ahead of us here. But in America, being queer, being LGBTQ+, it's not an easy journey for anybody. And even though it's getting better, the pendulum swings back sometimes. I mean, right now in the United States, there are 2 bits of legislation going on in Texas and Florida that are terrifying. One is a bill that was passed in Florida telling teachers that they're not allowed to speak about anything other than heterosexuality. And you can't ignore the reality that this is something that exists. And they're going to punish people. They're going to make them, teachers and faculty are, now could be sued, could be in trouble for even acknowledging.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
It really
and in
is.
Texas, there's a thing going on where parents of trans children who are receiving care by licensed doctors are now going to be reported and urged to be reported to to child services, which is just like they're going to doctors. They're getting the help that they need. So I don't know who they're trying to protect. We're actually trying to help children that are going through being who they are.
Back to the dark ages. How can that
it's so bizarre.
When we saw this morning, we couldn't actually believe it. So what does the foundation do?
I mean, that's one reason why my foundation is so important to me, because now more than ever, we need to make sure that education and awareness and visibility are at the forefront. These things are going on because people are ignorant and scared. So I think, the more you educate people and show them what the reality is, a lot of people just don't understand. And they just need a little crash course and just trying to getting their heads around it,
And who better to do it than you?
I will try. and the foundation's amazing. We partner with various organizations that are pretty massive in that space. I'm working with a center in San Diego, my hometown, called the Rady Center. And they are a center for gender-affirming care as well. So I'm actually going to visit them in a couple weeks, and I think now more than ever, it's very important to bring awareness to that.
Thank you for everything you do.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure.
Honestly, we can't wait to see you on tour. You start in Belfast, I believe. That's
yeah.
And, of course, Starstruck is Saturday, 7:30 on ITV. Thank you so much indeed. We will see you tomorrow, folks. Kay's here tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.